The ART SpiderJack is a revolutionary friction device developed in 2001 by innovative German tree climber and engineer Herbert Kowalewski. Used in place of a Prusik hitch in a standard running double rope system, the SpiderJack allows complete freedom of movement through the canopy, with the legendary self-tending function during ascent matched by unparalleled user control of the friction in the system whilst descending. The latest version of the SpiderJack to be released is the SpiderJack 2.1. This version performs in exactly the same manner as its predecessors, with a full range of functions and fully replaceable parts. In addition, the Model 2.1 comes with a replaceable pin through the lower part of the body of the device. Users who have experienced significant wear to the body can replace this pin, extending the life of the device.
The SpiderJack can't be installed mid-line, so to set it up, the easiest way is to pass the length of the line through. You then attach the spliced end of the line onto the carabiner next to the SpiderJack.
Your choice of climbing line is very important, as the ART SpiderJack will respond very differently depending on rope diameter and firmness. The SpiderJack can be used with ropes from 11 to 13 millimeters in diameter without needing to change any part of the body or clutch. As a rule, the SpiderJack is at its best with thin, tightly woven and firm lines.
Okay, I'm going to start things off on the ground here, demonstrating the self-tending function of the ART SpiderJack 2. As you can see, the device doesn't need any weight of tail below to begin to self-tend. It will even function when the tail is deflected above you. This allows for easy position adjustment with one hand. The trick to getting the SpiderJack to self-tend, even with very little tail below the device, is to pull the running part of the line through the SpiderJack. If you're used to climbing on a hitch, you may be tempted to pull slack into your system down to your side and then tend with your spare hand. With the SpiderJack, it's really important to feed the running part of the line into the body of the device. As you can see, by doing this, the SpiderJack will self-tend even with no weight of rope below the device.
The SpiderJack is at its best when used with the ART rope guide. The extremely low friction in this device allows the climber to take best advantage of the SpiderJack's many features by giving complete control over the amount of friction in the system at any point in time. The use of a rope guide makes ascending on the SpiderJack smooth and effortless and allows the full range of fast, accurate pinpoint descents. The immediate and reliable locking of the SpiderJack is one of its key safety features. The unique method of self-tending during ascent means that climbers usually have little or no slack in the system above themselves and are caught quickly and reliably in the event of a fall. Beginner users occasionally complain that their SpiderJack does not immediately lock onto the line. The SpiderJack's camming action is activated by the user's weight being placed on it. New users are often tempted to hold some of their weight on the line and ease themselves into it. This prevents the SpiderJack from locking onto the line.
Okay, here we are at the top of the tree, and it's quite blurry, so I'll try and speak up. I'm going to go through how to use the ART SpiderJack to descend. The device works by the user's weight forcing the cam or the clutch into the line. By pressing down on this lever, you release that and you descend. As you can see, when I'm just using that, it can be quite jerky and quite aggressive. One complaint that's often levelled at the SpiderJack is that the cams and the body wear out quite quickly. Almost always this is caused by climbers trying to use just the metal clutch to control the speed of their descent. When you do that, the rope rubs at the edge of the cam and where it meets the body and wears the device away. It's really important to get into the habit of using the wooden block. Get up next to you and show you the hand position. The correct hand position is using your fingers to depress the lever whilst your thumb forces the wooden block against the line. You can use the wooden block entirely to control the speed of your descent. I now have the metal lever entirely depressed and I'm using the wooden block to control the speed of my descent. This is much smoother. You can bring yourself entirely to a stop using the wooden block and then release the metal lever. It reduces the wears on the cam and on the body massively. You can use it for small little movement around the canopy or for big jumps.
The unprecedented level of user control over the friction in the system allows an enormous freedom of movement in the canopy. In particular, good use of the wooden friction block will allow experienced users to make some extremely fast and long-range jumps and descents. Chapter 2. Advanced.
Are you ready?
Rolling.
About a year and a half ago, I started experimenting with introducing a length of Dyneema, a short Dyneema sling, to allow me to put a second carabiner into the system. As you can see, the Dyneema is velcroed to the side of the SpiderJack in exactly the same manner that the splice side of the line was originally. The splice side of the line is now attached to the top carabiner. This makes changing over much faster because you don't need to redo the Velcro at every switch. In addition, the lower carabiner is now much less cluttered and there's much less possibility of cross-loading. We recently heard from ART that they're going to be releasing a new modification, an add-on part for the SpiderJack 2.1, which is an alloy ring which will replace the Velcro on the side of the SpiderJack.
This new modification can be added to the SpiderJack 2 to allow a 2-carabiner setup, with the upper carabiner orientated parallel to the rope to prevent interference with the running line.
We do actually have another new modification from ART to demo during this video, but for now I want to go back and debunk one of the great myths about the SpiderJack. One of the real criticisms levelled at it is that it's not possible to move when your tail is above you, that you come to a dead stop. You see a lot of climbers coming up with stuff like little snaps, little revolvers, pulleys to be attached to their harness below them to provide a fair lead into the SpiderJack. That's actually a road I went down for a month or so. In the end, it just drove me nuts putting snaps on all the time, and I stopped doing it. I realised soon afterwards that this business about not being able to climb against the line isn't actually true. The SpiderJack works fine, just takes a lot more practice. The hand position is also really different. This is the one occasion where you don't use the wooden block. To go against the line, we're just using a couple of fingers and using the friction of the rope over the branch, the friction of the rope going across the handle to control the speed of my descent. As you can see, I'm able to move up and down quite comfortably, and even to jump.
New from ART is an optional modification for the SpiderJack 2.1. This lever replaces the original release lever and includes a specially designed half-pulley below the lip to improve friction when the rope is deflected.
Don't matter where you've been.
One enormous advantage of the SpiderJack is that it will self-tend from above. Being able to climb past the SpiderJack and then bring it up to you may seem like it wouldn't be of much practical use, but in fact, it's something that can be used all of the time at work.
Just the same old thing. Just the same old thing. No matter how much love you try to bend, just the same old thing. You gotta count as hard from being torn apart. Now you labor every day. Love life drifts away.
One way of taking advantage of the SpiderJack's unique hunger for slack is to footlock up the double-roped system above the device. When you arrive at your workstation, you can pull down on the running part of the line to bring the SpiderJack up to you.
So another option for making longer ascents with the SpiderJack, because it's a very low position in relation to your harness, you can actually use SRT equipment along with it. This is the At-Trace microfob. Set up the hand ascender onto the running part of the line, flip off the croll, keep it out of the way, put the loop on, and I'm off. Of course you're not ascending like proper SRT. For every metre of line that passes through the SpiderJack you're only going up half a metre. Nevertheless, it's a very physically undemanding way of gaining height.
ART for the art of tree climbing.